I think we'll go ahead and get started. So hello again, everyone. Thanks for joining today's information session about Leadership Twin Cities. My name is Zach Kramer, and I am the Leadership Programs Manager for the Minneapolis Regional Chamber. Today, we will start with a basic overview of Leadership Twin Cities, its benefits, the application process, and then we'll end the meeting with an open Q&A discussion so that I can answer any questions that you may still have after the presentation. So again, my name is Zach Kramer. I am the Leadership Program Manager for the Minneapolis Regional Chamber, and I oversee Leadership Twin Cities. What I do is I manage all of our alumni volunteers of the program to help plan the content, the program logistics, the applications, and ultimately the alignment of the program with the Minneapolis Regional Chamber's vision. So what is Leadership Twin Cities? Leadership Twin Cities is a professional development cohort program that informs current and emerging community leaders about critical issues, along with the leading organizations involved with those issues, and ultimately how we can civically engage and collaborate together to accelerate a more inclusive and circular economy. It's a 9-month program that runs from September to May, and is made up of a diverse cohort of about 50 professionals, all from the public, private, and nonprofit industries. The program began back in 1976, and today has more than 2,000 alumni. And this program is managed by the Minneapolis Regional Chamber, and is dedicated to enhance the economic prosperity and the success of the business community. The mission of the program is to identify, cultivate, and inspire successive generations of community leaders by exposing them to critical issues and resources within the community. And ultimately, our goal of the program is to help future leaders be knowledgeable, well-networked, and passionate about the success of our community. We need leaders who are able to look at situations, opportunities, or challenges through an equitable and sustainable lens, and pursue a course that builds the well-being of all. So how it works, Leadership Twin Cities isn't necessarily a quote unquote leadership training course. It's a 9-month program that examines critical issues facing our community with the goal of developing strong community leaders that are motivated to make a difference. And we do this by educating participants in the program about critical issues, the history of those issues, the organizations addressing those issues, and the common challenges that they face. And participants will have the opportunity to learn directly from our region's current community leaders, ask questions, and engage in collaborative discussions with them. And the program will also highlight some key opportunities to make a direct impact in these issues as an individual as well as an organization through civic engagement. So some of the critical issues and topics that we cover, they all vary year to year. But here is a list of some of our more common themes that we've had over the years. One of the most magical parts of this program is that no 2 years are the same. The program is created by a group of volunteers, a volunteer steering committee of alumni that work extremely hard to create and curate the program for the next class to ensure that it stays current with the local environment of our community. So some of these issues include community systems, racial bias and equity, regional demographics and sustainability, talent and workforce, public safety and justice, community health, affordable housing, poverty and homelessness, government, education, the arts, all things that you guys included in the chat earlier. We also have had many amazing speakers that are key community leaders in our region. Here's a list of just a few of the speakers that we have had in the past, but the list goes on. There's many more, but I'll go ahead and pause for a second to give you the opportunity to read through some of the speakers that we've had. All right, so moving on, who's a good candidate for the program? So we are looking for people that have a strong interest and commitment to improving the community, people with leadership experience and involved in civic volunteer roles, people that currently hold a leadership position or have the potential of achieving a leadership position within their company. Also, we're looking for people that have unique perspectives or distinct leadership experiences that they can bring to the cohort. All candidates need to be committed to fully participating in the program, and you should have your employer and supervisor, you should have their support and endorsement to go through the program, as it will involve taking several days off of work. And with that, that brings me to the days that we will have for the program. So the program is typically held on the second Thursday of every month, with the exception of April and May. It'll be on the first Thursday of those months, and that's just kind of how the calendar rolled out this time. So we have the dates running from September through May. The big thing in the red font that I just want to point out is we run a racial bias seminar using a third party, and those details have not been solidified yet, but our goal is to run 2 half-day sessions, either at the end of September or early October. So those are still to be determined right now, and once we get those solidified, I'll put them in I'll update them in the website, and anyone that applied to the program, I'll update you personally as well, just so you're aware of those dates. And these are all day. So typically program days run from about 8 a.m. to 4:30. And then we normally have an optional happy hour social afterwards at a local bar or restaurant close by to our venues, just to give everyone the opportunity to further collaborate and engage with each other and talk about the things that they learned about that day. So tuition covers all program related costs, including meals, venues, technical equipment and support, and program management. For members of the Minneapolis Regional Chamber, it's $2,395. And for non-members, it's $2,695. And payment is due before the first day of the program, so September 15th. And we also have some potential partial scholarships available. These scholarships are designed to provide access to participants who contribute diverse perspectives and distinct leadership experiences in the program. And they're intended for applicants for small businesses or government or nonprofit organizations. You can request a scholarship in your application, and all scholarship requests will be reviewed after the initial class selection process. You'll then be contacted in July, late July, about any scholarship opportunities that may be available to you for financial assistance. So as I mentioned, all candidates should have their employer and supervisor's support and endorsement to participate in the program. Many participants also have their employer pay for their tuition, not always the case, but when talking to your employer about the program, be sure to highlight some of these key benefits for them to allow you to go through the program, and may convince them to pay for your tuition. So some of the key benefits are Leadership Twin Cities provides opportunities for increased exposure and awareness in the market. It builds the participants' professional network across all industries. It helps develop their employees' strategic thinking and collaboration skills. And it also improves the employees' aptitude for big picture thinking. It helps employees develop greater personal vision and ultimately grooms leaders that contribute to their organizations. So if you're interested in applying, applications are due June 17th. So that will be 2 weeks from this Friday. The applications can be found on our website, and I'll have a link later on in this slide. But just so you have an understanding, once you apply, we'll then go through a application interview process. We'll have phone interviews with everyone that applied, just to make sure we answer any questions that you may have about the program, and also just make sure that this is a good fit. As I mentioned, we only have a cohort of about 50 people, and oftentimes we have more than 50 people apply for the program. So these interviews are crucial to helping us select the best people for the program. Then in the middle of July, between July 11th and the 15th, our selection committee will review the applications, and by the end of July, around July 26th, everyone that applied will be notified whether or not they've been accepted into the program. And here are just a few testimonials from our alumni of what they've said about the program. This alumni said that Leadership Twin Cities is the best thing that anyone could ever possibly attend. It opens your eyes to the issues in our community, hearing all aspects of those issues and finding your passion on what you want to get involved in. This other alumni said, I used to think that there were lots of people in our community who made things work and run well, but Leadership Twin Cities helped me figure out that we all have an obligation to be involved in our community, and I need to be one of those people who help make this community work well. And the final testimonial I have for you guys is Leadership Twin Cities has provided me a phenomenal opportunity to network and build relationships with leaders and future leaders of this community. The number of times that this has helped me personally and professionally is countless. And me as a personal alumni of the program, I just graduated from the program last week. We just had our final vision graduation day. Personally, I just think this program is awesome for anyone to attend. It really gives you a foundational understanding of all the different types of organizations involved in this region, and you build such a great professional network of people outside of your own company to really help you understand what is the work that other people are doing in our region and how we can best collaborate together. So with that, I'd love to stop sharing my screen and see all of you. If you want to turn on your cameras, that'd be great, so I'm not talking by myself. And if any of you have any questions, feel free to raise your hands in Zoom or put them in the chat. I prefer raising your hand because that's just easier than me reading from the chat here. But any initial questions from anyone about Leadership Twin Cities? I know I was very thorough, so don't feel bad. It's almost a compliment. Yes, Benny, you want to unmute yourself?
Yes. How are you doing? Hi, everybody. Can you elaborate just a little bit further, Zach, on the scholarships, please? The criteria that it takes to request those, and just a little bit more detail on that.
Yeah, so we get our scholarship funds from, we have our alumni events that alumni contribute to our scholarship fund. And ultimately, the fund is kind of fluid and changes every year, but ultimately the scholarships that we provide are partial scholarships, generally being around $750. So they're partial scholarships and not full scholarships. If there's any issues with anyone's ability to, pay outright the tuition, just let us know, and we can certainly work with you to find something that works for you.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions? Well, if not, let me share my screen one more time, just to wrap things up. So if you are interested in Leadership Twin Cities, or if you have any more questions, always feel free to send an email my way at leadership@mplschamber.com. You can find the application on our website. It is listed here. Sorry. And actually, I will put this in the chat just so all of you can have a direct link to it. But the application and all the information that I went over today is on the website. So if you ever forget what I said, you can certainly check it out there. But bear with me as I just grab this link to the application page. I'll drop it in the chat here, just so you all have it. And with that, yeah, Leadership Twin Cities is great. It's awesome for transplants that are new to the area to help you have a foundational understanding of like what is Leadership Twin Cities and what's going on. And oh, I see a question. Katie, you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't get it to work earlier in the Q&A portion.
No worries.
I was just wondering, Zach, you mentioned that you just graduated from the program last week. So I'm just curious with COVID. I'm guessing that was somewhat of a, I guess I'm making an assumption that it was somewhat of a hybrid approach, but maybe not. So I'm just curious, like looking toward the fall and winter, obviously we don't know what that's going to look like, if things will shift from like current infection rates and things like that. So is there any opportunity for, if that happens, for a hybrid option if need be, or is this strictly in person? If we're at a community spread level, then sessions would get canceled or rescheduled. I'm just curious if there's any insight on that part of it.
Yeah, we've been very flexible over the past couple years. During the peak of the pandemic, we facilitated this entire program virtually. So we do have experience with figuring out logistics of how to run that. And then this past year, we took a hybrid approach where the default was in person, but we invested in some audio and visual equipment to try to make this a engaging hybrid experience for everyone. And ultimately I found out that, there's many people that also can't attend program days for a variety of reasons, but they still want to participate. And having this hybrid option has been great, allowing people to stay engaged and continue to learn about the things that the program has to offer. Most people actually didn't come because they were potentially exposed by someone with COVID, and they just didn't want to infect anyone. So out of abundance of caution, it's a great opportunity for people to do that. But also, like during January and February's program days, we switched completely to virtual out of abundance of caution. So we just kind of monitor the current climate, and if we need to shift all the way virtual, we definitely have the capacity to do that. But as of right now, the default is in person, and we encourage everyone to be in person unless special circumstances come up, and then we'll have that hybrid option for those people.
Great, thank you.
Yep. And yeah, I see Benny asking about the recording. So yeah, this is being recorded. Once I wrap this up, I'll put this on YouTube, and I'll send an email link to everyone that registered here, so you have access to see that. If anyone has any more questions and can't figure out the hand raise, just unmute yourself and say something. Don't be shy. Courtney.
Yes, I have a quick question for you, Zach. So with everything that goes on in the monthly sessions, is there an expectation that you bring some of that work back to your current role and do some, programming within your teams, or is it strictly just you go to that class and then all of the content kind of stays within the cohort of individuals that are a part of it?
Yeah, there's not a necessary expectation of integrating what you've learned into the workplace. We have experimented with a couple of group projects over the years. This upcoming year, I'm thinking of creating a task force for people to collectively work on a critical issue that they all are passionate about addressing. And then you work together to move the needle with that. And many people in these group projects, they use certain resources from their employer that wanted to help with the process, but there's not necessarily expectation. They're completely separate. But I would hope that you would gain a lot of, big picture insights and figure out ways that your employer can use your new experience to their benefit and yours as well.
Thank you. And then just one more question.
Yeah.
Could you go over what like a typical session looks like from the 8 to 4 a.m. or 4 p.m.? Are you is it speakers, or are you doing like breakout sessions, discussions? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's a mix of everything. I've kind of experimented with the format, but fundamentally it's when people show up, it's small group networking discussions, and then we bring in either a standalone speaker or a panel of speakers, and we typically have about 4 speaking sessions throughout the day. And in between those speaker sessions, we have small group discussions for people to talk amongst the cohort, reflecting on what the speaker said and how that applies to them. And we also, for every program day, we have a list of call to actions that are some small things that you can do. It could be watching a video or reading an article or doing a activity or like a tour of something. And we ask you to take your time to do those, and then we'll all collaborate together and kind of talk about what we learned from that experience as well. So I hope that answers your question. As I said, typically about 4 speaker sessions, and they're either standalone speakers or a panel of speakers, and then small group discussions.
Thanks.
And I would say with this program, we strongly encourage this to not be like, a college lecture experience where you're just sitting there and having these leaders talk at you about all the great work that they're doing. We want this to be a very collaborative discussion with the leaders of the community and you as the other leaders of the community. And we also have often had, people that have challenged our speakers and the leaders that we bring on different perspectives that they may not have seen in the work that they're doing, or ways that they can do better work in terms of racial equity or sustainability or other aspects. And ultimately, our speakers learn just as much from the program as the participants in the program. And this is really an opportunity to just bring, forward-thinking leaders in a room, and we'll have some speakers get the conversation started, but the whole cohort kind of talks together of how we can improve this community. Last call for questions. Unmute yourself if you have anything. If not, thank you all for taking time out of your lunch hour to talk to me. I really appreciate it. I hope to see all of your applications online soon. Also, if you ever need to just talk, I'll put my cell phone number in the chat here. If you don't feel like drafting an email, I'm totally fine. You just giving me a call and we'll chit chat. So there it is. It's a Philadelphia zip area code, so it's not the wrong number. Don't worry. Thank you all again for being here. I'll send you the recording later, and have a great day. Bye, everyone. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.